didn't think it polite to listen, sir.
I'm sorry for that, for your sake. I don't play accurately. Anyone can play accurately. But I play with wonderful expression.
Yes, sir.
Have you got the cucumber sandwiches cut for Lady Bracknell?
Yes, sir.
By the way, Lane, I see from your book that on Thursday night 8 bottles of champagne were consumed.
Yes, sir. 8 bottles and a pint.
Why is it that at a bachelor's establishment the servants invariably drink the champagne?
I attribute it to the superior quality of the wine, sir. I have often observed that in married households, the champagne is rarely of a first-rate brand.
Good heavens, is marriage so demoralizing as that?
I believe it is a very pleasant state, sir. I've had very little experience with it myself up to the present. I've only been married once. It was in consequence of a misunderstanding between myself and a young person.
I am not sure that I'm very much interested in your family life, Lane.
No, sir. It is not a very interesting subject. I never think of it myself.
Thank you, Lane. That will do.
Thank you, sir.
Lane's view on marriage seems somewhat lax. But really, if the lower orders don't set us a good example, what on earth is the use of them? They seem as a class to have no sense of moral responsibility.
Mr. Ernest Worthing.
How are you, my dear Earnest? What brings you up to town?
Pleasure. What else should bring one anywhere?
Where have you been since last Thursday?
In the country.
Oh, what on earth do you do there?
When one is in town, one amuses oneself. When one is in the country, one amuses other people. It is excessively boring.
Who are the people you amuse?
Oh, neighbours.
Got nice neighbours in your part of Shropshire.
Perfectly horrid, never speak to any of them.
How immensely you must amuse them.
Oh, hello, why all these cups? Why, cucumber sandwiches. Who's coming to tea?
Oh, Merle, Aunt Augusta and Gwendolen.
How perfectly delightful.
Yes, that is all very well, although I'm afraid Aunt Augusta won't quite approve of your being here.
May I ask why?
My dear fellow, the way you flirt with Gwendolen is perfectly disgraceful. It is almost as bad as the way Gwendolen flirts with you.
But I am in love with Gwendolen. I have come up to town expressly to propose to her.
I thought you had come up for pleasure. I call that business.
How utterly unromantic you are.
I really don't see anything romantic in proposing. It is very romantic to be in love, but there is nothing romantic about a definite proposal. Why one may be accepted, one usually is, I believe. Don't touch the cucumber sandwiches, they've been ordered specially for Aunt Augusta.
But you've been eating them this whole time.
Well, that is quite a different matter. She is my aunt. Have some bread and butter. The bread and butter is for Gwendolen.
And perfectly good bread and butter it is too.
Yes, but you need not eat as if you were going to eat at all. You behave as if you were married to her already. You are not married to her already, and I don't think you ever will be.
Why on earth do you say that?
Well, in the first place, girls never marry them and they flirt with. Girls don't think it right.
That is nonsense.
It isn't. It is a great truth. In the second place, I don't give my consent.
Your consent?
My dear fellow, as you know, Gwendolen is my first cousin, and before I allow you to marry her, you will have to clear up the whole question of Cecily.
Cecily? What on earth do you mean? What do you mean? I don't know anyone with the name of Cecily.
Bring me the cigarette case Mr. Worthing left in the smoking room last time we dined here.
Yes, sir.
Do you mean to say you had my cigarette case this whole time? I wish to goodness you would let me know about it. I've been writing frantic letters to Scotland Yard. I very nearly offered a large reward.
Well, I wish you would offer one. I happen to be more than usually hard. However, it makes no matter, for now that I look at the inscription inside, I find the thing isn't yours after all.
Of course it's mine. You've seen it with me 100 times. And you have no right whatsoever to read what is written inside.
It is absurd to have a hard and fast rule about what one should read and what one shouldn't. More than half of modern culture is based on what one shouldn't read.
Yeah, I am quite aware of the fact, and I don't propose to discuss modern culture. I simply want my cigarette case back.
Yes, but this isn't your cigarette case. This cigarette case was the present from someone of the name of Cecily. You said you didn't know anyone of that name.
Well, if you want to know, Cecily happens to be my aunt.
Your aunt?
Yes, charming lady she is too. Just give it back to me, Annie.
Well, she called herself Little Cecily. She's your aunt. From Little Cecily with her fondest love.
My dear fellow, what is there in that? Some aunts are tall, and some are not tall. Surely that is a matter that an aunt may be allowed to decide for herself. Now, for heaven's sake, give me back my cigarette case.
Why does your aunt call you her uncle? From Little Cecily with her fondest love to her dear Uncle Jack.
There is no objection, I admit, in an aunt being a small aunt. But why should an aunt call her own nephew her uncle? I can't quite make out. Also, your name isn't Jack, it is Ernest.
It isn't Ernest, it's Jack.
You have always told me it was Ernest. I've introduced you to everyone as Ernest. You answer to the name of Ernest. You're one of the most earnest-looking persons I have met in my whole life. You're saying your name isn't Ernest. It's perfectly absurd. It's on your cards. Here's one of them. Mr. Ernest Worthing, The Albany, V4. I'll keep one of these to prove that your name is Ernest in case you ever attempt to deny it.
Well, my name is Ernest in town, and Jack in the country. And the cigarette case was given to me in the country.
But that doesn't account for the fact that your small Aunt Cecily calls you her uncle.
Come, old boy, you had much better have the thing out at once.
My dear boy, you talk exactly as if you were a dentist. It is vulgar to talk as if one was a dentist when one isn't a dentist. It produces a false impression.
That is exactly what dentists always do.
Now go on, tell me the whole thing. I may mention that I've always suspected you to be a confirmed and secret Bunburyist. I'm quite sure of it now.
Bunburyist? What on earth do you mean by Bunburyist?
I'll explain to you the meaning of that incomparable expression as soon as you're kind enough to tell me why you're Ernest in town and Jack in the country.
Well, produce my cigarette case first.
Here it is. Now, produce your explanation.
Old Mr. Thomas Cardew, who adopted me when I was a little boy, made me in his will guardian to his granddaughter, Miss Cecily Cardew. Cecily, who refers to me as uncle from motives of respect that you could not possibly appreciate, lives at my place in the country under the charge of her admirable tutor, Mr. Prism.
Where is that place in the country, by the way?
That is nothing to you, dear boy. You're not going to be invited. I may tell you candidly that the place is not in Shropshire.
I suspected that. I've Bunburyed all over Shropshire on 2 separate occasions. Now go on. Tell me why you're Ernest in town and Jack in the country.
My dear fellow, I'm not sure you'll be able to understand my true motives. You are hardly serious now. When one is placed in the position of guardian, one has to undertake the highest moral tone on all subjects. And as a high moral tone can hardly be said to conduce to one's health or even one's happiness, in order to get up to town, I've pretended to have a younger brother of the name of Ernest, who lives in the Albany and gets in the most terrible scrapes. That, my dear Algy, is the whole truth, pure and simple.
The truth is very pure and never simple. What you really are is a Bunburyist. I was right in saying you were a Bunburyist. You're one of the most advanced Bunburyists I know.
What on earth do you mean?
You have invented a younger brother called Ernest in order that you may be able to come up to town as often as you like. I have invented a permanent invalid called Bunbury in order that I may be able to go into the country whenever I choose.
Bunbury is perfectly invaluable. If it wasn't for Bunbury's extraordinary bad health, for instance, I wouldn't be able to dine with you tonight at Willis's. For I have been really engaged to Aunt Augusta for more than a week.
You'd much better dine with your Aunt Augusta.
I haven't the smallest intention of doing anything of the kind. I know she will place me next to Mary Farquhar, who always flirts with her own husband across the dinner table. It is not very pleasant, indeed. It is not even decent. And this sort of thing is enormously on the increase. The amount of women in London who flirt with their own husband is perfectly scandalous. It looks so bad. It is simply washing one's clean linen in public.
Besides, now that I know you to be a confirmed Bunburyist, I naturally want to talk to you about Bunburying. I want to tell you the rules.
I'm not a Bunburyist. If Gwendolen accepts me, I'm going to kill my brother. Indeed, I think I will do it in any case. Cecily is a little too interested in him, which is rather a bore. So yes, I am going to kill my brother, and I strongly advise you to do the same with your with your invalid friend who has the absurd name.
Nothing will ever induce me to part with Bunbury. And if you ever get married, you'll be very glad to know Bunbury as well. A man who marries without knowing Bunbury has a very tedious time of it.
That is nonsense. If I marry a charming girl like Gwendolen, and she is the only girl I ever saw in my life who I would marry, I certainly wouldn't want to know Bunbury.
Your wife will. You don't seem to realize that in married life, 3 is company and 2 is none.
That, my dear fellow, is the theory that the corrupt French drama has been propounding for the last 50 years.
Yes, and that the happy English home has proved in half the time.
Don't be so cynical. It's perfectly easy to be cynical.
My dear boy, it isn't easy to be anything nowadays. There's such a lot of beastly competition about. Oh, that must be Aunt Augusta. Now, if I get her out of the way for 10 minutes, in order that I may be able to get an opportunity for proposing to Gwendolen, may I dine with you tonight at Willis's?
I suppose so, if you want to.
Yes, but you must be serious about it. I hate people who are not serious about meals. It's so shallow of them.
Lady Bracknell and Miss Fairfax.
My dear Algernon, I hope you're behaving very well.
I'm feeling very well, Aunt Augusta.
That's not quite the same thing. In fact, the two rarely go together.
Oh, dear me. You are smart.
I'm always smart. Am I, Mr. Worthing?
You are quite perfect, Miss Fairfax.
I hope I'm not all that. That will leave no room for developments, and I intend to develop in many directions.
I'm sorry if we're a little late, Algernon, but I was obliged to call on dear Lady Harbury. I have been business her poor husband's there. I never saw a woman so altered. She looks quite 20 years younger. And now I'll have a cup of tea, and one of those nice cucumber sandwiches you promised me.
Certainly, Aunt Augusta.
Won't you miss it here, Gwendolen?
Thanks, Mamma. I'm quite comfortable where I am.
Good heavens. Nay! Why are there no cucumber sandwiches? I've ordered them specially.
There were no cucumbers in the market this morning, sir. I went down twice.
No cucumbers.
No, sir. Not even for ready money.
Thank you, Lane. That will do.
Thank you, sir.
I am greatly distressed, Aunt Augusta, about there being no cucumbers. Not even for ready.
It really makes no matter, Algernon. Thank you. I've quite a treat for you tonight, Algernon. I'm going to send you down with Mary Farquhar. She's such a nice woman, and so attentive to her husband. It's delightful to watch them.
I'm afraid, Aunt Augusta, I shall have to give up the pleasure of dining with you tonight, after all.
I certainly hope not. If you put my table completely out, your uncle will have to dine upstairs. Fortunately, he is accustomed to that.
This is a great bore and a terrible disappointment. But the fact is, I've just had a telegram from my poor friend Bunbury. He's very ill. They seem to think I should be with him.
It is very strange. This Mr. Bunbury seems to suffer from curiously bad health.
Yes, poor Bunbury is a dreadful invalid.
Well, I think that it's high time that Mr. Bunbury decided whether he was going to live or to die. This shilly-shallying with the question is absurd. Nor do I in any way approve of this modern sympathy with invalids. I consider it morbid. Illness of any kind is hardly a thing to be encouraged in others. Health is the primary duty of life. I'm always telling that to your poor uncle. He never seems to take much notice. Well, I should be much obliged if you would ask Mr. Bunbury from me to be kind enough not to have a relapse on Saturday, for I rely on him to arrange my music for me.
I'll speak to Bunbury, Aunt Augusta, if he is still conscious. But I think I can promise you that he'll be all right by Saturday. Of course, the music is a great difficulty, but I can run over the program after now if you will kindly follow me to the next room for a moment.
It's very thoughtful of you, Algernon. I'm sure the program will be delightful after a few explications. Gwendolen, accompany me.
Certainly, Mamma.
Charming day it has been, Miss Fairfax.
Pray don't talk to me about the weather, Mr. Worthing. Whenever people talk to me about the weather, I always feel quite certain that it means something else.
I do mean something else.
I thought so. In fact, I'm never wrong.
In fact, I would like to take advantage of Lady Bracknell's temporary absence.
I would certainly advise you to do so. Mamma's a way of coming back suddenly into a room that I don't like.
Gwendolen, ever since I have met you, I have admired you more than any other girl I have ever met. ever since I met you.
Yes, I'm quite well aware of that fact, Mr. Worthing. For me, I've always had an irresistible fascination. Even before I met you, I was far from indifferent to you. We live, as I hope you know, Mr. Worthing, in an age of ideals, and my ideal has always been to love someone of the name of Earnest. There's something of name that inspires absolute confidence. The moment Ahrent first mentioned to me that I had a friend called Earnest, I knew I was destined to love you.
You really love me, Gwendolen.
Passionately.
Darling, you don't know how happy you've made me.
My own Ernest.
But you don't mean to say that you couldn't love me, even if my name wasn't Earnest.
But your name is Ernest.
Yes, I know it is. But supposing it was something else. You mean to say you couldn't love me then?
That is clearly a metaphysical speculation. Like most metaphysical speculations, there's very little reference at all to the actual facts of real life as you know them.
Personally, darling, to speak quite candidly, I don't really much care for the name of Earnest. I don't think it suits me at all.
It suits you perfectly. It's a divine name. It has music of its own. It produces vibrations.
Well, really, Gwendolen, I must say there are many other much nicer names. I think that Jack, for instance, a charming name.
Jack. There is very little music in the name of Jack, if any at all, indeed. It does not thrill. Produces absolutely no vibrations. Besides, Jack is notorious for mysticity for John, and I pity any woman who's married to a man called John.
Gwendolen, I must get christened at once. I mean, we must get married at once. There's not a moment to be lost.
Married, Mr. Worthing?
Well, surely. You know that I love you, and you have led me to believe, Miss Fairfax, you are not entirely indifferent to me.
Well, I adore you, but you haven't proposed to me yet. Nothing at all has ever been said about marriage. The subject has not yet been touched on.
Well, may I propose to you now?
Well, I think it would be an admirable opportunity.
Gwendolen, will you marry me?
Of course I am, darling. How long you have been about it. I'm afraid you have very little experience now to propose.
One, I have never loved anyone in the world but you.
Yes, but men often practice proposing. I know my brother Gerald does. All my girlfriends tell me so. Mr. Worthing! Right, so this semi-recumbent posture is most indecorous. Mama, I must beg you to retire. Mr. Worthing is not quite finished. Finished what, may I ask? I am engaged to be married to Mr. Worthing, Mama.
You are not engaged to anyone. When you do become engaged to someone, I or your father, should his health permit him, will inform you of the fact. An engagement should come on a young girl as a surprise, pleasant or unpleasant, as the case may be.
But it is hardly a matter that she can be allowed to arrange for herself. Now, I have a few questions for you, Mr. Worthing.
While I am making these inquiries, you, Gwendolen, will wait for me below in the carriage.
Mama!
In the carriage, Gwendolen!
Gwendolen, the carriage!
You can take a seat, Mr. Worthing.
Thank you, Lady Bracknell. I prefer standing.
I feel bound to tell you you're not down on my list of eligible young men, although I have the same list as the Duchess of Bolton has. We rank together, in fact. However, I'm quite ready to enter your name, should your answers be what a really affectionate mother requires. Do you smoke?
Yes, I must admit I do smoke.
I'm glad to hear it. A man should always have an occupation of some kind. How old are you?
29.
A very good age to be married at. I've always been of the opinion that a man who decides to get married should know either everything or nothing. Which do you know?
I know nothing, Lady Bracknell.
I'm pleased to hear it. I don't approve of anything that tampers with natural ignorance. Ignorance is like a delicate, exotic fruit. Touch it, and the bloom is gone. This whole theory of modern education is radically unsound. Fortunately, in England at any rate, education produces no effect whatsoever. What's your income?
Between 7,000 and 8,000 a year.
In land or in investments?
In investments, chiefly.
That is satisfactory.
I have a country house with some land attached, some 1,500 acres, but I don't rely on that for my real income.
A country house? How many bedrooms? Well, that point can be cleared up afterwards. You have a townhouse, I presume. A girl with a simple, unspoiled nature like Gwendolen could hardly be expected to reside in the country.
I have a house in Belgrave Square.
What number in Belgrave Square?
149.
The unfashionable side. I thought there was something. However, that can easily be altered.
The fashion or the side?
Both, if necessary, I presume. What are your politics?
I'm afraid I really have none. I am a liberal unionist.
Oh, they come to stories. They dine with us. Well, they come in the evening at any rate. That's the minor matters. Are your parents living?
I'm afraid I've lost both my parents.
To lose one parent, Mr. Worthing, may be regarded as a misfortune. To lose both looks like carelessness. Who was your father? He was evidently a man of some wealth.
Well, you see, I really don't know. Lady Bracknell, when I said I had lost both my parents, it would be nearer the truth to say that my parents seem to have lost me. I don't know who I am by birth. I was found.
Found?
Yes. The late Mr. Thomas Cardew, an old gentleman of a kindly and charitable disposition, found me.
And gave me the name of Worthing because he happened to have a first-class ticket to Worthing in his back pocket. Worthing is a town in Sussex. It is a seaside resort.
Where did this charitable gentleman with the first-class ticket to this seaside resort find you?
In a handbag.
A handbag?
Yes, Lady Bracknell, perfectly ordinary bag with handles attached to it, a perfectly ordinary handbag.
In what locality did this Mr. James or Thomas Cardew find this ordinary handbag?
In the cloakroom at Victoria Station. It was given to him in mistake for his own.
The cloakroom? In Victoria Station?
Yes.
The Brighton line.
The line is immaterial. Mr. Worthing, I must confess I feel somewhat bewildered by what you have just told me. To be born, would generate bread in a handbag, whether it had handles or not, seems to me to display a contempt for the ordinary decencies of family life, which reminds one of one of the worst excesses of the French Revolution.
Well then, Lady Bracknell, would you tell me then what it is you would have me do? I need hardly say that I would do anything to ensure Gwendolen's happiness.
I would strongly advise you, Mr. Worthing, to try and acquire some relations as soon as possible, and to make a definite effort to produce at any rate one parent of either sex before the season is quite over.
How could I possibly do that? I could produce the handbag at any moment. It is in my dressing room at home. I really think that should satisfy you, Lady Bracknell.
Me, sir? What has it to do with me? You can hardly imagine that I and Lord Bracknell would dream of allowing our only daughter, a girl brought up with the utmost care, to marry into a cloakroom, and to form an alliance with a parcel. Good morning, Mr. Worthing.
Good morning. For goodness sake, Algy, don't play that ghastly tune. How idiotic you are.
Did it go off all right, old boy? You don't mean to tell me that Gwendolen refused you?
Gwendolen is as right as a trivet. As far as she is concerned, we are engaged. Her mother is perfectly unbearable. I've never met such a gorgon.
I don't really know what a gorgon is like, but I'm pretty sure that Lady Bracknell is one. In any case, she is a monster without being a myth, which is rather unfair because... I'm sorry, Algy, I don't need to talk about your relatives in that way before you.
I love hearing my relations abused. It is the only thing that makes me put up with them at all. Relations are just a tedious pack of people without the remotest knowledge of how to live. No, the smallest thing think of when to die.
That is nonsense.
It isn't.
Well, I don't want to argue about it. You always want to argue about things.
But that is what things were originally made for.
Upon my word, if I thought that, I'd shoot myself. You don't suppose there's a chance that Gwendolen would become like her mother in about 150 years' time, do you?
All women become like their mothers. That's their tragedy. No man does, and that's his.
Is that clever?
Well, it's perfectly phrased, and perhaps that's true.
Well, I am sick to death of cleverness. Everybody is clever nowadays. You can't go anywhere without meeting clever people. I wish to goodness we had a few fools left.
We have.
I should very much like to meet them. What do they talk about?
The fools. About the clever people, of course.
Then they're obviously fools.
By the way, have you told Gwendolen the truth about your being Earnest in town and Jack in the country?
The truth isn't quite the sort of thing one tells to a nice, sweet, refined girl. What extraordinary ideas you have about the way to behave to a woman.
The only way to behave to a woman is to make love to her if she's pretty, and to someone else if she's ugly.
That is nonsense.
But what about your brother Earnest?
By the end of the week, I shall have got rid of him. I shall say he died in Paris of apoplexy. Lots of people die of apoplexy, don't they?
Yes, but it's hereditary, my dear boy. It runs in families. You had much better say a severe chill.
You're quite sure a severe chill isn't hereditary or anything of that kind?
Of course it isn't.
Very well. My poor brother Ernest to be carried off quite suddenly in Paris from a severe chill. That gets rid of him.
But I thought you said that Miss Cardew was very much interested in your poor brother Earnest. Won't you feel his loss a good deal?
That is all right. Cecily is not a silly, romantic girl, I am glad to say. She has a capital appetite, goes on long walks, and pays no attention at all to her lessons.
I would rather like to see Cecily.
Take very good care, you never do. She's excessively pretty and only just 18.
But does Gwendolen know you have an excessively pretty ward who is just only 18?
One doesn't blurt these things out to people. Cecily and Gwendolen are perfectly certain to become extremely good friends. I bet you anything you like that half an hour after they've met, they shall be calling each other sister.
Women only do that once they've called each other a lot of other things first. Now, if we want to get a good table at Willis's, we really must go. Do you know it is nearly 7?
It is nearly always 7.
Oh, I'm hungry.
I never knew you when you weren't.
What shall we do after dinner? Go to the theatre?
Oh, no, I loathe listening.
Well, let us go to the club.
No, I ain't talking.
Well, we might trot around to the Empire at 10.
Oh, no, I've been looking at things. It's so silly.
Well, what shall we do?
Nothing.
It is awfully hard work, doing nothing.
Miss Fairfax!
Gwendolen, upon my word.
Algy, can you tell me about her? Something very particular to say to Mr. Worthing.
Really, Gwendolen, I don't think I can allow this at all.
Algy, you always adopt a strictly immoral attitude towards life. You're not quite old enough to do that. Ernest, we may never be married. From the expression of Mamma's face, that we never shall. Parents nowadays pay every regard to what the children say to them. The old-fashioned respect for the young is fast dying out. Whatever influence I had over my ma, I lost at the age of 3. And although she may prevent us from becoming man and wife, I may marry someone else, and marry often. Nothing that she could possibly do could alter my eternal devotion to her.
Dear Gwendolen.
And the story of romantic origin, as related to me by Mamma, with unpleasing details, has naturally stirred the deeper fibres of my nature. And your Christian name has an irresistible fascination. Your town address in the Alban I have, but what's your address in the country?
The Manor House, Walton, Hertfordshire.
And there's a good postal service there, I suppose. It may be necessary to do something desperate. And of course, it requires serious consideration. I will communicate with you daily.
My own one.
How long do you remain in town?
Until Monday.
Good. Algy! You may turn back now.
Thank you. I've turned round already.
You may also ring the bell.
I will see you to your carriage, my own darling.
Certainly.
I will see Miss Fairfax out.
Yes, sir.
A glass of sherry, Lane.
Yes, sir.
Tomorrow, Lane, I'm going bumpering.
Yes, sir.
I'll not be back until Monday morning. You can put up my dress clothes, the smoking jacket, and all the other Bunbury suits.
Yes, sir.
Tomorrow, Lane, is gonna be a fine day.
It never is, sir.
What a perfect pessimist you are, Lane.
I do my best to give satisfaction, sir.
There is a sensible intellectual girl, the only girl I have ever cared for in my life.
I'm a little anxious about Paul Bunbury, that is all.
If you don't take care, your friend Bunbury will get you into a serious scrape one day.
I love scrapes. They are the only thing that are never serious.
Nonsense, Algie. You never got anything but nonsense.
But no one ever does.
Cecily? Cecily! Intellectual pleasures await you. Your German grammar is on the table. Pray open it at page 15. We'll repeat yesterday's lesson.
But I don't like German. It isn't at all a becoming language.
Child, you know how anxious you got in this, but you should improve yourself in every way. Lay particular stress on your German.
Dear Uncle Jack is always so very serious. Sometimes he's so serious I think he cannot be quite well.
Your guardian enjoys the best of health, and his gravity of demeanour is especially to be commended in one so comfortably young as he is. I know no one with a higher sense of duty and responsibility.
I suppose that is why he often looks a little bored when we three are together.
Cecily, I'm surprised at you. Mr. Welling has many troubles in his life. Idle merriment and triviality would be out of place in this conversation. You must remember his constant anxiety about that unfortunate young man, his brother.
Yeah, I wish Uncle Jack would allow that unfortunate young man, his brother, to come down here sometimes. We might have a good influence on him, Mr. Prism.
I do not think that even I could produce any effect on a character that, according to his own brother's admission, is irretrievably weak and vacillating. Indeed, I'm not even sure of a desire to reclaim him. I'm not in favor of this modern mania of turning bad people into good people at a moment's notice. As a man sows, so shall he reap. You must put away your diary, Cecily. I really don't see why you keep a diary at all.
I keep a diary in order to enter the wonderful secrets of my life. If I didn't write them down, I should probably forget all about them.
Memory, my dear Cecily, is the diary we all carry about with us.
Yes, but it usually chronicles things that have never happened and couldn't possibly have happened. I believe memory is responsible for nearly all the 3-volume novels written today.
Do not speak slightingly of the 3-volume novel, Cecily. I wrote one myself in my earlier days.
Did you really, Mr. Prism? How wonderfully clever you are. I hope it did not end happily. I don't like novels that end happily, they depress me so much.
The good ended happily, the bad unhappily. That is what fiction means.
I suppose so. But it seems very unfair. And was it ever published?
Was it? No. The manuscript was, unfortunately, abandoned. I used the word in sense of lost or mislaid. But you were child, these speculations are profitless.
But I see Dr. Chasuble coming up through the garden.
Dr. Chasuble! This is indeed a pleasure.
And how are we this morning, Mr. Prism? You are, I trust, well.
Mr. Prism has just been complaining of a slight headache. I think it would do him so much good to have a short stroll with you in the park, Dr. Chasuble.
Cecily, I have not mentioned anything about a headache.
No, I know that, but I thought instinctively that you had a headache. Indeed, I was thinking of that and not about my German lesson when the rector came in.
I hope, Cecily, you are not inattentive.
Oh, I'm afraid I am.
That is strange. Well, I'm fortunate enough to be Mr. Prism's pupil. I would hang upon his lips. As metaphorically. My metaphor was drawn from bees.
Mr.
Mr. Worthing, I suppose, has not returned from town yet.
We do not expect him till Monday afternoon.
Ah, yes, he usually likes to spend his Sunday in London. He's not one of those whose sole aim is enjoyment, as by all accounts that unfortunate young man his brother seems to be. But I must disturb the jurist and his pupil no longer.
The jury, yes. My name is Letitia, Doctor.
A classical allusion merely, drawn from the pagan authors. I will no doubt see you both at evensong.
I think, Doctor, that I will have a stroll with you. I find I have a bit of a headache. After all, and a walk will do it good.
With pleasure, Mr. Prism, with pleasure. We might go as far as the schools and back.
That would be delightful.
Cecily, you will read the political economy in my absence. The chapter on the fall of the rupee you may omit. It is somewhat too sensational.
Horrid political economy, horrid geography, horrid German. Oh.
Mr. Ernest Worthing just drove over from the station. He's brought his luggage with him.
Mr. Ernest Worthing, B4 the Albany, W. Uncle Jack's brother? Did you tell him Mr. Worthing was in town?
Yes, miss. He seemed very much disappointed. I informed him that you, Mr. Prism, were in the garden. He said he wishes to speak to you privately for a moment. He seemed rather anxious.
Ask Mr. Ernest Worthing to come in.
Yes, miss.
I feel rather frightened. I've never met any really wicked person before. So afraid he will look just like everyone else. He does.
You must be my little cousin Cecily, I'm sure.
You are under some strange mistake. I'm not little. In fact, I believe I'm more than usually tall for my age. But I am your cousin Cecily. You, I see from your card, are Uncle Jack's brother, my cousin Ernest. My wicked cousin Ernest?
I am not really wicked at all, cousin Cecily. You mustn't think that I am wicked.
If you are not, then you have certainly been deceiving us all in a very inexcusable manner. I hope you're not believing in double life. Pretending to be wicked and being really good all the time. That would be hypocrisy.
Well, of course I have been rather reckless.
I'm glad to hear it.
In fact, now that you mention the subject, I've been very bad in my own small way.
I don't think you should be so proud of that. Though I'm sure it must have been very pleasant.
But it is much pleasanter being here with you, Cecily.
I can't understand how you're here at all. Uncle Jack won't be back until Monday afternoon.
Oh, this is a great disappointment. I have to be back by the first train on Monday morning. I have a business appointment that I am anxious to miss.
Couldn't you miss it anywhere but in London?
No, the appointment is in London.
Well, I know, of course, how important it is not to keep a business engagement if one wants to retain any sense of the beauty of life. But still, I think you had better wait until Uncle Jack arrives. I only wants to speak to you about your emigrating.
What?
You're emigrating. Uncle Jack is sending you to Australia.
Australia? I'd sooner die.
Well, he said at dinner on Wednesday night that you would have to choose between this world, the next world, and Australia.
Of Australia and the next world are not particularly encouraging. This world is good enough for me, Cecily.
Yes, but are you good enough for it?
I'm afraid I am not that. That is why I want you to reform me. You might make that your mission, if you don't mind.
Won't you come in?
Thank you. Might I have a buttonhole first?
I'm not on you.
No, I'd sooner have a pink rose.
Why?
Because you are like a pink rose, Cecily.
Ooh, I don't think it can be right for you to talk to me like that. Mr. Prism never says such things to me.
But Mr. Prism is a short-sighted old man. You are the prettiest girl I ever saw.
Mr. Prism says that all good looks are a snag.
They are a snare that every sensible man would like to be caught in.
Oh, Oh, I don't think I would care to catch a sensible man. I should know what to talk to him about.
You are too much alone, dear Dr. Chasuble. You should get married. A misanthrope I can understand, but a womanthrope, never.
Believe me, I do not deserve so neologistic a phrase. The precept as well as the practice of the primitive church was distinctly against matrimony.
This is obviously the reason why the primitive church has not lasted to the present day. You don't seem to realize, dear doctor, that by persistently remaining single, a man converts himself into a permanent public temptation. Men like you should be more careful. This very celibacy leads weaker vessels astray.
But is a man not equally attractive when married?
No married man is ever attractive, except his wife.
And often, I've been told, not even to her.
Where is Cecily?
Perhaps she followed us to the schools.
Mr. Worthing!
Mr. Worthing?
This is indeed a surprise. We did not look for you till Monday afternoon.
I have returned sooner than I expected. Dr. Chasuble, I hope you're well.
My dear Mr. Worthing, I trust this garb of woe does not betoken some terrible calamity.
My brother.
More shameful death than extravagance.
Still leading his life of pleasure.
Dead.
Your brother Ernest dead?
Quite dead.
What a lesson for him. I trust he will profit by it.
Mr. Worthing, I offer you my sincere condolence. You have at least the consolation of knowing that you were always the most generous and forgiving of brothers.
Poor Ernest. He had many faults, but it is a sad, sad blow.
Very sad indeed. Were you with him at the end?
No, he died abroad. In Paris, in fact. I received a telegram last night from the manager of the Grand Hotel.
Was the cause of death mentioned?
A severe chill, it seems.
As a man sows, so shall he reap.
Charity, dear Mr. Prison, charity. None of us are perfect. I myself am peculiarly susceptible to drafts. Will the interment take place here?
No, he seems to have expressed a desire to be buried in Paris.
In Paris? I fear that hardly points to any very serious state of mind at the last. You would no doubt wish me to make some slight allusion to this tragic domestic affliction next Sunday. My sermon on the meaning of the manner in the wilderness can be adapted to almost any occasion, joyful or, as in the present case, distressing. I have preached it at harvest celebrations, christenings, confirmations, on days of humiliation and festival days. The last time I delivered it was in the cathedral, as a charity sermon on behalf of the Society for the Prevention of Discontent among the Upper Orders. The bishop, who was present, was much struck by some of the analogies I drew.
You mentioned christenings, I think, Dr. Chasuble. I suppose you know how to christen, all right? I mean, of course, you are continually christening, aren't you?
It is, I regret to say, one of the rector's most constant duties in this parish. I have often spoken to the poorer classes on the subject, but they don't seem to know what thrift is.
But is there any particular infant in whom you are interested, Mr. Worthing? Your brother was, I believe, unmarried, was he not?
Oh, yes.
People who live entirely for pleasure usually are.
But it is not for any child, dear doctor, though I am quite fond of children. The fact is, I would like to be christened myself, this afternoon, if you have nothing better to do.
But surely, Mr. Worthing, you have been christened already.
I don't remember anything about it.
But do you have any grave doubts on the subject?
I certainly intend to have. Of course, I don't know if the thing would bother you in any way, or if you think I'm a little too...
Oh, not at all. The sprinkling and indeed the immersion of adults is a perfectly economical practice.
Immersion?
You need have no apprehensions. Sprinkling is all that is necessary. Or indeed, I think, advisable. Our weather is so changeable. At what time would you wish the ceremony performed?
Oh, I might trot round about 5:30, if that would suit you.
Perfectly, perfectly. And now,
Dear Mr. Worthing, I will intrude no longer into a house of sorrow. I would merely beg you not to be too much bowed down by grief. What seem to us bitter trials are often blessings in disguise.
It seems to me a blessing of extremely obvious kind.
Oh, Uncle Jack. Oh, I'm pleased to see you back. But what horrid clothes you've got on. To go and change them.
Cecily, my child, my child.
What is the matter, Uncle Jack? You look happy. You look as if you had a toothache. And I've got such a surprise for you. Who do you think is in the dining room? Your brother.
Who?
Your brother Earnest. He arrived about half an hour ago.
Nonsense, I have not a brother.
Don't say that, however badly he may behave to you in the past. He is still your brother. I will tell him to come out and you will shake hands with him, won't you, Uncle Jack?
These are very joyful tidings.
After we have been resigned to his loss, his sudden return seems peculiarly distressing to me.
My brother is in the dining room. I don't know what it all means. I think it is perfectly absurd. Good heavens.
Brother John! I have come down from town to tell you that I am
Terribly sorry for all the trouble I have given you. And that I intend to lead a better life in the future.
Uncle Jack, you're not going to refuse your brother's hands, are you?
Nothing will induce me to take his hand. I think his coming down here disgraceful. He knows perfectly well why.
Uncle Jack, do be nice. There's some good in everyone. Ernest has just been telling me about his poor invalid friend, Mr. Bunbury, whom he goes to visit so often. And surely there must be much good in one who's kind to an invalid. And leaves the pleasures of London to sit by a bed of pain.
Bunbury? He's been telling you about Bunbury, has he?
Yes, he told me all about poor Mr. Bunbury and his terrible state of health.
Bunbury? Well, he won't be telling you about Bunbury or about anything else. It's enough to drive one perfectly frantic.
I admit, the faults were all on my side. But Brother John's coldness towards me is peculiarly painful. I was expecting a more enthusiastic welcome.
Uncle Jack, if you don't shake hands with Ernest, I will never forgive you.
Never forgive me.
Never, never, never.
Well, this shall be the last time I will ever do it.
It's pleasant, is it not, to see so perfect a reconciliation? I think we might leave the two brothers together.
Cecily, you come with us.
Certainly, Mr. Prism. My little task of reconciliation is over.
You have done a beautiful action today, dear child.
We must not be premature in our judgments.
I feel very happy.
Young scoundrel, you must get out of this place as soon as possible. I don't allow any bumbering here.
I've put Mr. Ernest's luggage in the room next to yours, sir. I suppose that's all right.
What?
His luggage, sir. I've unpacked it and put it in the room next to yours.
His luggage?
Yes, sir. 3 portmanteaus, 2 hat boxes, a dressing case, and a large luncheon basket.
I'm afraid I can't stay more than a week this time.
Merriman, order the dog cart at once. Mr. Earnest has been suddenly called back to town.
Yes, sir. In fact, just 1 moment.
What a fearful liar you are, Jack. I haven't been called back to town at all.
Yes, you have.
Well, I haven't heard anyone call me.
Your duty as a gentleman calls you back.
My duty as a gentleman has never interfered with my pleasures in the smallest degree.
I can quite understand that.
Well, Cecily is a darling.
You are not to talk of Miss Cardew like that. I don't like it.
Well, I don't like your clothes. You look perfectly ridiculous in them. It is perfectly childish to be in deep mourning for a person who is staying for a whole week in your house as your guest. I find it grotesque.
You will certainly not stay with me for a whole week as a guest or anything else. You have got to leave by the 4:05 train.
But I certainly won't leave you so long as you are in mourning. It would be most unfriendly of me. If I was in mourning, you would stay with me, I suppose. I would find it most unkind if you didn't.
Where will you go if I change my clothes?
Yes, if you're not too long. I've never seen anyone take so long to dress and with such little result.
At any rate, it is better than being always overdressed as you are.
If I'm occasionally a little overdressed, I always make up for it by being immensely overeducated.
Vanity is ridiculous. Your conduct an outrage, and your presence in my garden utterly absurd. However, you have got to leave, and I hope you will have a pleasant journey back to town. This bumbling, as we call it, has not been a success for him.
I think it has been a great success. I'm in love with Cecily, and that is everything. But I must meet her to arrange for other Bunbury. Oh, there she is.
Oh, I nearly came back to water the roses. I thought you were with Uncle Jack.
He's gone to call for the dog cart for me.
Oh, is he going to take me for a nice drive?
He's going to send me away.
Then have we got to part?
I'm afraid so. It is a very painful parting.
It is always very painful to part from people whom one has known for a very brief space of time.
The dog cart is here, sir.
It can wait, Merriman, for 5 minutes?
Yes, miss.
Cecily, I hope I shall not offend you if I state quite frankly that you seem to me to be in every way the visible personification of absolute perfection.
I think your frankness does you great credit, Ernest. If you will allow me, I will copy your notes into my diary.
Do you keep a diary? I'd give anything to look at it, may I?
Oh, no. You see, it is simply a very good record of own thoughts and impressions, and consequently meant for publication. When it appears in volume form, I hope you will order a copy. Pray, Ernest, don't stop. I delight in taking down from dictation. I have reached absolute perfection. You can go on, I'm quite ready for more. Don't cough, Ernest. I don't know how to spell cough.
Cecily, ever since I looked upon your wonderful and incomparable beauty, I have dared to love you wildly, passionately, devotedly, hopelessly.
I don't think you should tell me that you love me wildly, passionately, devotedly, and hopelessly. Hopelessly doesn't seem to make too much sense, does it?
Oh, Cecily.
The dog cart is waiting, sir.
Well, tell it to come round on the next week at the same hour.
Yes, sir.
Uncle Jack would be very much annoyed if he knew you were staying on till next week. At the same hour.
I don't care about Uncle Jack. I don't care for anybody in the whole world but you, Cecily. You will marry me, won't you?
You silly boy, of course. Why? We've been engaged for the last 3 months.
For the last 3 months?
Yes, it will be exactly 3 months on Thursday.
How did we become engaged?
Well, you see, ever since dear Uncle Jack first confessed to us that he had a younger brother who was very wicked and bad. You, of course, have formed the chief topic of conversations between myself and Mr. Prism. And a man who is much talked about is always very attractive. I dare say it was foolish of me, but I fell in love with you, Ernest.
But when was the engagement actually settled?
On the 14th of February last. I accepted you in this here garden. The next day, I bought this little ring in your name. And this is the little bangle with the true lover's knot I promise you always to wear.
Did I give you this? It's very pretty, isn't it?
Yes, you've wonderfully good taste, Johannes. It's the excuse I've always given for you leading such a bad life. And this is where I keep all your dear letters.
My letters? But my dear sweet Cecily, I haven't written you any letters.
You need hardly remind me of that, Ernest. I remember only too well that I was supposed to write your letters for you. I wrote always 3 times a week, and sometimes oftener.
Oh, do let me read them, Cecily.
No, I couldn't possibly. They would make you far too conceited. Last 3 you wrote me after I'd broken off the engagement are so beautiful and so badly spelled that even now I can't read them without crying a little.
But was our engagement ever broken up?
Of course it was. On the 22nd of last March. Here, you can see the entry if you like. Today, I broke off my engagement with Alice. I feel it is better to do so. The weather still continues charming.
But why on earth did you break it off? What had I done? broke up our engagement, especially when the weather was so charming.
Hardly been a really serious engagement if it hadn't been broken up at least once. And I forgave you before the week was out.
What a perfect angel you are, Cecily.
You dear romantic boy. I hope your hair curls naturally, does it?
Yes, with a little help from others.
Oh, I'm so glad.
You will never break up our engagement again, will you, Cecily?
I don't think that I could now that I actually met you. Besides, of course, there's a question of your name.
Yes, of course.
You must not laugh at me, darling. But it's always been a girlish dream of mine to love with someone whose name was Earnest. Oh, there's something in that name that seems to inspire absolute confidence. I pity any poor married woman whose husband is not called Earnest.
But, my dear sweet darling, you don't mean to tell me that you couldn't love me if I had some other name?
What name?
Well, any name you like. Algernon, for instance.
I don't like Algernon.
But, my sweet, loving little darling, I really don't see why you should object to the name of Algernon at all.
It is not a bad name at all. In fact, it is rather an aristocratic name. Half the chaps who end up in bankruptcy court are called Algernon. But seriously, Cecily, if my name was Algie, couldn't you love him?
I might admire you. I might respect your character. But I fear I should not be able to give you my undivided attention. Earnest.
Cecily. I think the rector here is experiencing the rites and ceremonials of the church.
Oh yes, Dr. Chasuble is a most learned man. He has never written a single book, so you can imagine how much he knows.
I will see him once on a most important christening. On a most important business.
Oh.
I won't be away for more than half an hour.
Considering that we've been engaged since February 14th and that I only met you today for the first time, I think it is rather hard of you to leave me for such a long period as half an hour. Couldn't you make it 20 minutes?
I will bet no time.
Oh, what an impetuous boy he is. I like his hair so much. I must enter his proposal into my diary.
Hey, Miss Fairfax, just called to see Mr. Worthing on very important business, Miss Fairfax states.
Isn't Mr. Worthing in his library?
Mr. Worthing went over in the direction of the rectory some time ago.
Pray ask the lady to come out to me. Mrs. Worthing is sure to be back soon, and you can bring tea.
Yes, miss.
Miss Fairfax. I suppose one of the many good elderly women who are associated with Uncle Jack in some of his philanthropic work in London.
Miss Fairfax.
Pray let me introduce myself to you. My name is Cecily Cardew.
Cecily Cardew? What a very sweet name. Something tells me we're going to be the best of friends. I like you already more than I can say. My first impressions of people are never wrong.
How nice of you to like me so much after we've known each other such a comparatively short time. Pray sit down.
I may call you Cecily, may I not?
With pleasure.
And you would always call me Gwendolen, won't you?
If you wish.
Then it's all quite sexual, is it not?
I hope so.
Perhaps this would be a favourable opportunity for my mentioning who I am. My father is Lord Bracknell. You never heard of Papa's palace?
I don't think so.
Well, outside the family circle, Papa and Uncle had to say is entirely unknown. I think that's quite how it should be. The home seems to me to be the proper sphere for the man. Once a man becomes to neglect his domestic duties, it becomes painfully effeminate, does it not? And I don't like that. Makes men so very attractive. You're here short visit, I suppose.
Oh no, I live here.
Really? Your mother, no doubt, or some female relative of advanced years resides here with you.
Oh no, I have no mother, nor in fact any relations.
Indeed.
My dear guardian with an assistant of Mr. Prism has the arduous task of looking after me.
Your guardian?
Yes, I'm Mr. Worthing's ward.
Strange, Mr. Worthing never mentioned to me that I had a ward. He grows more interesting hourly. I'm not sure I will have the news inspired me feelings of a mixed delight. Oh, I'm very fond of you, Cecily. I liked you ever since I met you, but I feel bound to state that now that I know that you are Mr. Worthing's ward, I cannot help expressing a wish that you were, well, just a little bit older than you seem to be, and not quite so very alluring in appearance. In fact, if I may speak candidly...
Well, pray do. I think that whenever one has anything unpleasant to say, one should always be quite candid.
Well, speak with perfect candor, Cecily. I wish that you were fully 42 and more than usually plain for your age. Earnest has a strong, upright nature. He's the very soul of truth and honour. But even men of the noblest possible moral character are extremely susceptible to the influence of the physical charms of others.
I beg your pardon, Gwendolen. Did you say Earnest?
Yes.
How about it is not Mr. Ernest Worthing who is my guardian? It's his brother, Mr. Elfarouk.
Mr. Worthing never mentioned to me that I had a brother.
Oh, I'm sorry to say they've not been on good terms for a long time.
Oh, that accounts for it. Oh, Cecily, I should have learned in my mind. I was growing almost anxious. It would have been terrible if any cloud had come across a friendship like ours, would it not? Of course, you're quite sure that it's not Mr. Ernest Worthing that is a guardian.
Quite sure. In fact, I'm going to be his.
I beg.
Dear Gwendolen, there's no reason why I should make a secret of it to you. Mr. Ernest Worthing and I are engaged to be married.
My darling Cecily, there must be some slight error. Mr. Ernest Worthing is engaged to me.
I'm afraid you must be under some misconception. Ernest proposed to me exactly 10 minutes ago.
That is certainly very curious, for he asked me to be his wife at yesterday afternoon at 5:30. You recount a very kind incident, Fredrik, sorry. I'm so sorry, dear a disappointment to you, but I'm afraid I have the prior claim.
It would distress me more than I can tell you, dear Gwendolen, if it caused you any mental or physical anguish, but I feel bound to point out that since Ernest proposed to you, he has clearly changed his mind.
If the poor fellow has been entrapped into any foolish promise, I shall consider it my duty to rescue him at once with a firm hand.
Whatever unfortunate entanglement my dear boy may have got into, I will never reproach him with it after we are married.
Do you allude to me, Miss Cardew, as an entanglement? You are presumptuous. On an occasion of this kind, it becomes more than a moral duty to speak one's mind. It becomes a pleasure.
Do you suggest, Miss Fairfax, that I entrapped Ernest into an engagement? How dare you? There's no time for in the shallow mask of manners. When I see a spade, I call it a spade.
I'm glad to say I've never seen a spade. It is obvious that our social spheres have been wider.
Shall I lay tea as usual? Yes?
Yes, as usual.
Are there any nice walks in the vicinity, Miss Cardew?
Oh, yes. A great many. From the top of one of the hills, quite close, one can see 5 counties.
5 counties? I don't think I should like that at all. I hate crowds.
I suppose that is why you live in town. like it, Miss Fairfax?
Yes, I had no idea there were any flowers in the country.
Oh, flowers as common here, as people are in London.
Personally, I can't understand how anybody manages to exist in the country. If anybody here is anybody, it does. The country always bores me to death.
Ah, this is what the newspapers call agriculture depression, is it not? I believe the aristocracy are suffering very much from it, just at present, I've been told. May I offer you some tea?
Thank you. I need tea.
Sugar?
No, thank you. Sugar is not fashionable anymore.
Cake or bread and butter?
Bread and butter, please. Cake is rarely seen in the best houses nowadays.
Hand that to Miss Fairfax.
Me? Come on. I'm so up for this.
Ready?
With lumps of sugar, and though I asked you most distinctly for bread and butter, you're giving me cake! I know for the gentleness of my disposition and the extraordinary sweetness of my nature, but I warn you, Miss Cardew, you go too far!
To save my poor innocent boy from the machinations of any other girl, there are no lengths to which I should never go.
From the moment I saw you, I distrusted you. I felt that you were false and deceitful. I am never deceived in such matters. My first impressions of people are invariably right.
Oh, it seems to me, Miss Fairfax, that I'm trespassing on your valuable time. No doubt you have many other calls or similar characters to make in the neighborhood.
Ernest! A moment. May I ask you if you are engaged to be married to this young lady?
Little Cecily, of course not. What could put such an idea into your pretty little head?
Thank you, you may.
Dear Gwendolen, I knew there must be some misunderstanding. The gentleman whose arm is at present round your waist is my guardian, Mr. John Worthing.
I beg your pardon?
This is Uncle Jack.
Jack! Oh.
Here is Ernest.
My own one.
A moment. May I ask you, are you engaged to be married to this, young lady?
What young lady? Good heavens, Gwendolen?
Yes, good heavens to Gwendolen. I mean to Gwendolen.
Of course not. How could I put such an idea into your pretty little head?
Thank you, you may.
I felt that there was some slight error. The gentleman who is now embracing you is my cousin, Mr. Algernon Moncrief.
Algernon Moncrief? Ooh. Are you called Algie?
I cannot deny it.
Is your name really John?
I could deny it if I liked. I could deny anything if I liked. But my name certainly is John. It has been John for years.
A gross deception has been practiced on both of us.
My poor wounded Cecily!
My sweet John Gwendolen.
You will not resist her, will you not?
There's just one question. I would like to be permitted to ask my guardian.
An admirable idea. Mr. Worthing, there is just one question that we would like to be permitted to put to you. Where is your brother Ernest? We're both engaged to be married to your brother Ernest, so it's a matter of some importance to us now at present.
Gwendolen, Cecily, it is very painful for me to be forced to speak the truth. It is the first time in my life I have ever been reduced to such a position, and I am really quite inexperienced of anything of the kind. However, I will tell you that I have no brother Ernest, that I never had a brother Ernest, and that I certainly don't intend to have a brother Ernest in the future.
No brother at all.
None.
Have you never had a brother of any kind?
No, not even of any kind.
I'm afraid it's quite clear, Cecily, that neither of us is engaged to be married to anyone.
It is not a very pleasant position suddenly for a young girl to find herself in, is it?
Let's go into the house. They will hardly venture to come after us there.
No, men are so cowardly, aren't they?
This ghastly state of things is, I suppose, what you call bunburying.
Yes. Perfectly wonderful Bunbury it is. This is one of the most wonderful Bunburys I've had in my whole life.
Well, the only small satisfaction I have in the whole of this wretched business is that your friend Bunbury is quite exploded. You won't be able to run down to the country quite as often as you used to, dear Algy, and a very good thing too.
Your brother Ernest is a little off colour, isn't he, Jack? You won't be able to come up to town as often as your wicked custom was. And not a bad thing either.
As for your conduct towards Miss Cardew, I find your taking in of a sweet, simple, innocent girl like that quite inexcusable. To say nothing of the fact that she is my ward.
I can really see no possible defence at all in deceiving a brilliant, clever, thoroughly experienced young lady such as Miss Fairfax. To say nothing of the fact that she is my cousin.
I want you to be engaged to Gwendolen, that is all. I love her.
Well, I simply wanted to be engaged to Cecily. I adore her.
There is certainly no chance of your marrying Miss Cardew.
Well, there isn't much likelihood, Jack, of you and Miss Fairfax being united. Well, that's no business of yours. Well, if it was my business, I certainly wouldn't talk about it. It is very vulgar to talk about one's business. Only people like stockbrokers do that, and barely at dinner parties.
Can't sit there eating muffins when we're in this horrible trouble. I can't make out. You seem to me to be perfectly heartless.
Well, I can eat muffins in an agitated manner. The butter would probably get on my guts. One should always eat muffins quite calmly. It is the only way to eat them.
I say it's perfectly heartless of your eating muffins at all under the circumstances.
When I'm in trouble, eating is the only thing that consoles me. Right now, I'm eating muffins because I'm unhappy. Besides, I'm particularly fond of muffins.
Well, that is no reason for you to be eating them all in that greedy way.
Jack, I wish you wouldn't. Here, have some bread and butter. I don't like bread and butter.
Good heavens, I suppose a man may eat his own muffins in his own garden.
But you said it was perfectly heartless to be eating muffins.
I said it was perfectly heartless of you under the circumstances.
Well, that may be, but the muffins are the same.
Algy, I wish to goodness you would go.
You cannot possibly ask me to go without my dinner. I never go without my dinner. No one ever does, except vegetarians and people like that. Besides, I've taken arrangements with Dr. Chasuble to be christened under the name of Earnest at 6:45.
My dear fellow, the sooner you give up that nonsense, the better. I have made arrangements myself with Dr. Chasuble to be christened at 5:30, and I will naturally take the name of Ernest. Gwendolen would wish it. We can't both be called Ernest, it's absurd. Besides, there is no evidence at all that I have ever been christened by anybody. I should think it highly likely I never was, and so does Dr. Chasuble. It is entirely different in your case. You have been christened already.
Yes, but I haven't been christened for years.
Yes, but you have been christened. That is the important thing.
Quite so. So I know my constitution can stand it. If you are not sure about your ever having been christened, I must say I find it rather dangerous you're venturing on it now. It might make you very unwell.
That is nonsense. You never talk anything but
Jack, you heard the muffins again. I wish you wouldn't. There's only one left.
Algie, I wish to goodness you would go. I don't want you here. Why don't you go?
Well, I haven't quite finished my tea yet. And there's one muffin left.
The fact that they did not follow us into the houses at once, as anybody else would have done, seems to me to show that they have some sense of shame left.
They've been eating muffins. That looks like repentance. They're approaching. That's very forward of them.
They don't seem to notice it at all. Could a cough?
I haven't got a cough.
They're looking at us reproachfully. Let's preserve the dignified silence.
Certainly. It's the only thing to do now.
This dignified silence seems to produce an unpleasant effect.
A most distasteful one.
But we will not be the first to speak.
Certainly not.
Mr. Worthing! I have something very particular to ask you. Much depends on your reply.
Gwendolen, your common sense is invaluable. Mr. Moncrief, kindly answer me the following question. Why did you pretend to be my guardian's brother?
In order that I may get an opportunity for meeting you.
That certainly seems a satisfactory explanation, does it not?
Yes, do you? You can't believe him.
I don't. But that does not affect the wonderful beauty of his answer.
True matters of grave importance. Style, not sincerity, is vital. Mr. Worthing, what explanation can you offer me for pretending to have a brother? Was it in order that you might have an opportunity of coming up to town to see me as often as possible?
Can you doubt it, Miss Fairfax?
I have the gravest doubts upon the subject, but I intend to crush them. Your answer seems to be quite satisfactory. Especially Mr. Worthing's. That seems to me to have the stamp of truth upon it.
I am more than content with what Mr. Moncrief answered. His voice alone inspires one with absolute credulity.
I think we should begin now.
Yes!
No. True, I have forgotten. There are principles at stake that one cannot surrender. Which of us should tell them? The task is not a pleasant one.
Could we not both speak at the same time?
An excellent idea. I nearly always speak at the same time as other people. Will you take the time from me?
Certainly.
Your Christian names are still an insuperable barrier. That is all.
Christian names? Is that all? But we are going to be christened this afternoon.
For my sake, imagine this terrible thing.
Oh, yeah.
To please me, you're ready to face this fearful ordeal.
Oh, yeah.
How absurd to talk about the equality of the sexes when question of self-sacrifice are concerned, men are infinitely beyond us.
Yeah.
They have moments of physical courage of which we women know absolutely nothing.
Darling!
The Golden, Lady Bracknell.
Gwendolen! What does this mean?
Mary, that, I am engaged to be married to Mr. Worthing.
Sit down immediately. Hesitation of any kind is a sign of mental decay in the young and of physical weakness in the old. Apprised, sir, of my daughter's sudden flight by her trusty maid whose confidence purchased the means of a small coin, I follow her at once by luggage train. Her unhappy father is, I am pleased to say, under the impression that she's attending a more than usually lengthy lecture by the University Extension Scheme on the influence of permanent income on thought. I do not propose to undeceive him. Indeed, I have never undeceived him on any question. I would consider it wrong. But you will clearly understand that all communication between yourself and my daughter must cease immediately from this moment, on this point. Yes, indeed. On all points, I am firm.
I am engaged to be married to Gwendolen, Lady Bracknell.
You are nothing of the kind, sir. Now, as regards Algernon. Algernon.
Yes, Aunt Augusta.
May I ask if it is in this house that your invalid friend Mr. Bunbury resides?
No, Bunbury is somewhere else at present. In fact, Bunbury is dead.
Dead? When did he die? His death must have been extremely sudden.
I killed Bunbury this afternoon. I mean, poor Bunbury died.
What did he die of?
No, Bunbury, he was quite exploded.
Exploded? Was he the victim of revolutionary outrage? I was aware that Mr. Bunbury was interested in social legislation. If so, his first punish was morbidity.
Aunt Augusta, what I meant to say is that Bunbury was found out. The doctors found out that Bunbury could not live, so Bunbury died.
You seem to have great confidence in the opinion of his physicians. I am glad, however, that he made up his mind at last to some definite course of action and acted under proper medical advice. Now that we have finally got rid of this Mr. Bunbury, may I ask Mr. Worthing, who is this young person whose arm my nephew Algernon is holding in what seems to me a peculiarly unnecessary manner?
That lady is Miss Cecily Cardew, my ward.
I'm engaged to be married to Cecily.
I beg your pardon.
I'm engaged to be married to Algernon Moncrief, Lady Bracknell.
I do not know whether there is anything particularly exciting in the air of this part of Hertfordshire, but the number of engagements that go on seem to me to be peculiarly above the proper average that statistics have laid out for our guidance. I think that some preliminary inquiry on my part will not be out of place. Mr. Worthing, may I ask, is Miss Cardew at all connected with any other larger railway stations in London? I merely desire information. Up until yesterday, I had no idea that there were any families or persons whose origin was a terminus.
Miss Cardew is the granddaughter of the late Mr. Thomas Cardew.
That sounds not unsatisfactory, but what proof have I of this?
Mr. Cardew's family solicitors are Messrs. Markby, and Markby.
Markby? Markby. I found a very highest position in their profession. Indeed, I am told that one of the Mr. Markbys is occasionally to be seen at dinner parties. So far, I'm satisfied.
How extremely kind of you, Lady Bracknell. I have also in my possession, you will be pleased to hear, certificates of Miss Cardew's birth, baptism, whooping cough, registration, vaccination, confirmation, and the measles, both the German and the English variety.
A life crowded with incidents, I see. Though perhaps somewhat too exciting for a young girl. I'm not myself in favour of premature experiences. Come there, the time approaches my departure. We have not a moment to lose. As a matter of form, Mr. Worthing, I'd better ask if Miss Cardew has any little fortune.
Oh, some £130,000 in the funds, that is all. Good day, Lady Bracknell, so pleased to have seen you.
Hello, Miss Worthing. £130,000. And the funds. Miss Cardew seems to be a most attractive young lady now that I look at her. Come over here, dear. Pretty child. Your dress is sadly simple. And your hair seems almost as nature might have left it. We can soon alter all that. Kindly turn around, sweet child. Oh no, it's a side view I want. Quite as I suspected, there are distinct social possibilities in your profile. Algernon?
Yes?
There are distinct social possibilities in Miss Cardew's profile.
Cecily is the dearest, sweetest, prettiest girl I ever met. I don't care twopence about social possibilities.
Never speak disrespectfully of society, Algernon! Only people who can't get into it do that. Dear child, as I'm sure you know, Algernon has nothing but his debts to depend on. But I do not approve of mercenary marriages. When I married Lord Bracknell, I had no fortune of any kind, but I never dreamed for a moment of allowing that to stand in my way. Well, I suppose I must give my consent.
Thank you, Aunt Augusta.
Miss Cecily, you may kiss me.
Thank you, Lady Bracknell.
You may also call me Aunt Augusta for the future.
Thank you, Aunt Augusta.
The marriage, I think, had to take place quite soon.
Thank you, Aunt Augusta.
Thank you, Aunt Augusta.
To speak frankly, I'm not in favour of long engagements. They give people the opportunity of finding out each other's character before marriage, which I think is never advisable.
I beg your pardon for interrupting you, Lady Bracknell, but this engagement is quite out of the question. I am Miss Cardew's guardian, and she cannot marry without my consent. That consent I absolutely decline to give.
Upon what grounds, may I ask? Algernon is an extremely, I may say, almost ostentatiously eligible young man. He has nothing, but he looks everything. What more can one desire?
It pains me very much to have to speak frankly to you, Lady Bracknell, about your nephew. But the fact is, I do not approve at all of his moral character. I suspect him of being untruthful.
Untruthful? My nephew Algernon? Impossible.
I think there can be no possible doubt about the matter. This afternoon, during my temporary absence in London, on an important question of romance, he obtained admission to my house under the false pretence of being my brother. He succeeded in the course of the afternoon in alienating the affections of my only ward. He subsequently stayed to tea and devoured every single muffin, and what makes his conduct all the more heartless is that he was perfectly well aware from the first that I have no brother, that I never had a brother, and that I certainly don't intend to have a brother in the future. I told him so myself, distinctly, yesterday afternoon.
After careful consideration, Mr. Worthing, I have decided to entirely overlook my nephew's conduct to you.
That's very generous of you, Lady Bracknell. My own decision, however, is unalterable. I decline to give my consent.
Come here, sweet child. How old are you, dear?
Well, I'm really only 18, but I always admit to 20 when going to evening parties.
You're quite right in making some slight alteration. Indeed, a woman should never be quite accurate about your age. It looks so calculating. 18, but it brings me to 20 when going to evening parties. Well, it will not be very long before you are of age and free of the restraints of tutelage. So I don't think that your guardian's consent is after all a matter of any importance.
I beg your pardon, Lady Bracknell, for interrupting you again, but I fear it is only right to tell you that according to the terms of her grandfather's will, Miss Cardew does not come legally of age until she is 35.
That does not seem to me a grave objection. 35 is a very attractive age. London society is full of women of the very highest birth who have, of their own free choice, remained 35 for years.
Angie? Could you wait for me till I was 35?
Well, of course I could. You know I could.
Yes, I felt it instinctively. But I couldn't wait all that time. I hate waiting even 5 minutes for anybody. It always makes me rather cross. I'm not punctual myself, I know. But I do like punctuality in others. And waiting, even to be married, it's quite out of the question.
Then what is to be done, Cecily?
I don't know, Mr. Moncrief.
My dear Mr. Worthing, as Miss Cardew states positively that she cannot wait until she is 35, a remark which I'm bound to say seems to show a somewhat impatient nature, I would beg of you to reconsider your decision.
My own, Lady Bracknell, the decision is entirely in your own hands. The moment you consent to my marriage with Gwendolen, I will most gladly allow your nephew to form an alliance with my ward.
You must know that what you propose is out of the question.
Then a passionate celibacy is all that any of us can look forward to.
That is not the jest that I propose for Gwendolen. Alden, of course, can do as he likes. Come, dear, you already missed 5 o'clock, 6 strains. To miss any more, might expose us to comment on the platform.
Everything is quite ready for the christenings.
The christening, sir? Is that so premature?
Both these gentlemen have expressed a desire for immediate baptism.
At their age, the idea is grotesque and irreligious. Alva, I forbid you to be baptized. Lord Bracknell would be highly displeased to hear that this is the way in which you decide to waste your time and money.
Am I to understand, then, that there are to be no christenings at all this afternoon?
I don't think, as things are now, it would be of much practical value to either of us, Dr.
I am grieved to hear such sentiments from you, Mr. Worthing. They savour of the heretical views of the Anabaptists, views I have completely refuted in 4 of my unpublished sermons. However, as your present mood seems to be one peculiarly secular, I will return to the church at once. Indeed, I had just been informed by the Puritan that for the last hour and a half Mr. Prism has been waiting for me in the vestry.
Did I hear mention of a Mr. Prism?
Yes, Lady Bracknell, I am on my way to join him.
Pray allow me to detain you for one moment. This matter may prove to be one of vital importance to Lord Bracknell and myself. Is this Mr. Prism a man of repellent aspect remotely connected with education?
He is the most cultivated of men and the very picture of respectability.
He is obviously the same man. May I ask what position he holds in your household?
I am a celibate, madam.
Mr. Prism, Lady Bracknell, has for the last 3 years been Miss Cardew's esteemed tutor and most valued companion.
In spite of what I hear of him, I must see him at once. Let him be sent for.
He approaches. He is nigh.
I was told to expect me in the vestry, Pen, and I've been waiting for them for an hour and 3/4.
Mr. Prism.
Shit.
Mr. Prism.
Damn it.
Mr. Prism. Where is that baby? 28 years ago, you left Lord Bracknell's house, number 104 Upper Street, in charge of a perambulator containing a baby of the male sex. You never returned. A few weeks later, through the elaborate investigations of the Metropolitan Police, the perambulator was discovered at midnight in a remote corner of Bayswater. It contained the manuscript of a 3-volume novel of more than usually revolting sentimentality. But the baby was not there. Mr. Prism, where is that baby?
Lady Bracknell, I admit with shame that I do not know. I only wish that I did. Plain facts of the case are these. On the morning of the day you mentioned, a day that is forever branded on my memory, I prepared as usual to take the baby out on its perambulator. I had also with me a somewhat old but capacious handbag in which I had intended to place a manuscript of a work of fiction that I had written during a few of my unoccupied hours. In a moment of mental abstraction for which I can never forgive myself, I deposited the manuscript in the bassinet and placed the baby in the handbag.
But where did you deposit the handbag?
I left it in the cloakroom of one of the larger railway stations in London.
What railway station?
Victoria, the Brighton line.
I must retire to my room for a moment. Gwendolen, wait for me here.
I will wait for you always! If you're not too long.
What do you think this means, Lady Bracknell?
I did not suspect Dr. Chasuble. I need hardly tell you that in families of high position, strange coincidences are supposed to occur. They are hardly considered the thing.
Uncle Jack is strangely agitated.
Your guardian has a very emotional nature.
This noise is extremely unpleasant. It sounds as if he was having an argument.
Oh, the suspense is terrible. I hope for love.
Is this the handbag, Mr. Prism? Examine it carefully. The happiness of more than one life depends on your answer.
It seems to be mine. Yes. Here's the injury it received for the upset McGowan Street omnibus in younger, happier days. And here, on the lining, is the same costly explosion of a temperance beverage, an incident that occurred in Leamington. And here, on the locks, are my initials. I had forgotten that in an extravagant mood I had them placed there. The bag is undoubtedly mine. I am delighted to have it so unexpectedly restored to me. It has been a great inconvenience being without it all these years.
Mr. Prism, more is restored to you than the handbag.
I was the baby you placed in it.
You?
Yes. Father!
Mr. Worthing, I am unmarried.
Unmarried? I do not deny that is a serious blow.
However, who has the right to cast a stone against one who has suffered?
Cannot repentant would wipe out an act of folly. Why should there be one rule for men and another rule for men? Father, I forgive you.
Mr. Worthing, there is some error. There is the lady who can tell you who you really are.
Lady Bracknell, I hate to seem inquisitive, but would you kindly inform me who I am?
I'm afraid that the news I have to give you will not altogether please you. You are the son of my poor sister, Mrs. Moncrief, and consequently, Algernon's elder brother.
Algy's elder brother. Then I have a brother after all. I always said I had a brother. Cecily, how could you ever doubt that I had a brother? Dr. Chasuble, my unfortunate brother. Mr. Prism, my unfortunate brother. Gwendolen, my unfortunate brother. How do you better treat me with more respect in the future? You've never treated me like a brother in all your life.
Well, not built today. Old boy, of course I must admit I was out of practice.
Oh, my old one! What tone are you? Was your Christian name now that you have become someone else?
Good heavens, I'd quite forgotten that point. Your decision on the subject of my name is irrevocable, I suppose.
Never change, except in my affections.
What a noble nature you have, Gwendolen.
The matter had better be settled at once. Lady Bracknell, at the time that Mr. Prism left me in a handbag, had I been christened already?
Every luxury that money could buy had been lavished on you by your fond and doting parents.
Then I was christened, that is settled. But what name was I given? Let me know the worst.
Being the eldest son, you were naturally christened after your father.
Yes, but what was my father's Christian name?
Why don't the President recall the General's Christian name? I know that he had one. He was an eccentric man, I admit, but only in later years. That was due to Indian climate, and marriage, and indigestion, and things of that kind.
Algy, can't you remember what our father's Christian name was?
I'm afraid not. We were never even on speaking terms. He died before I was a year old.
His name would appear on the army lists of the period, I suppose, Lady Bracknell.
The General was essentially a man of peace, except in his domestic life. But I have no doubt his name would appear in any military directory.
The army lists of the period.
I've instinctively felt you might need this, sir.
The army lists of the last 40 years are here. These records should have been my constant study. Generals. Mags, Magdalene. Ghastly names they have. Moncrief. General, Colonel, Lieutenant Colonel, 1869. Christian names. Ernest John. I always told you my name was Ernest every time. Well, it is Ernest. I mean, it naturally is Ernest.
Oh, yes, I remember now the General was called Earnest, and you had some particular reason for disliking the name.
My own Ernest! I thought from the first I know no other name.
Gwendolyn, it is a terrible thing to find out suddenly that all your life you have been speaking nothing but the truth. Can you?
I can, but I feel you're short of change.
My one.
Letitio, Fredrik at last!
You see, this lady signs of triviality.
On the contrary, Aunt Augusta, for the first time in my life, I have discovered the vital importance of being earnest.